Welcome to Aromas and Amigos podcast, guys. What's up, Chef Diego?
Hey, what's up? How you doing, guys?
What's up, the best bartender in town,
The
Mixmaster
top
G.
G.
Jarobis.
What's up, guys?
Bottom G, lowercase G. And I'm the best there is, the best chef there was, and the best chef there ever will be. Chef Diablo, the man,
Devil.
the plan.
Diablo.
Diablo, aka Diablito. Spreading the Diablitos everywhere. All right, today was a lot of traffic in the Jackie today, which pissed me off, but it is what it is. How was your guys' morning?
It was great.
That's it, just great. You woke up?
Getting coffee,
Yeah, 2 hours
waking
of
up,
sleep, making that
getting
money.
energy, ready to make money.
What's up, Top G?
Chilling. Just woke up too.
Damn, you guys like to sleep.
Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Waking it up.
All right, today we're gonna speak about the behind the scenes of the kitchen, things that the staff thinks we don't see, consistency, the bullshit, the excuses that make no sense, things that we used before, because I use a lot of excuses in my life.
I know that.
Chef Diego could tell you, I could write a book. But not anymore, obviously. You know, you get older, you're young, you make up all the excuses, and you get older,
And you can't make excuses.
you can't make excuses. You gotta recognize all the bullshit. All right, guys. So, Chef, tell me about it. You know, consistency. When you're in the kitchen and you're not around the sous chef, you know, or your line cooks at your day off, they mess up. Say like a steak. Say I was your sous chef, and you're not there, and I mess up with like a filet mignon, something expensive, or anything at all. You know, it represents you because that's your dish. How do you would handle me if I messed up one of the dish?
First of all, I have to talk to you about all the complaints or issues that I have. But then again, it costs everything, right? Right now, everything it's getting more expensive, and you will not have to lose money because you just don't want to pay attention to your job. You have to be responsible for it, and I will talk to you first, you know, maybe give you like 2 chances, and then the third one it will be like the last one.
So basically, 3 strikes.
3 strikes, yeah.
So
Because
say,
you know it's not only me. I feel like everybody does the same thing, follows the same path. Well, there is people that give you a lot of chances in other restaurants, right? I've been there, and I'm like, really, you got already like 10, even
Chances.
15 issues, and you're still here.
yeah, my thing is the consistent. The consistency of messing up the same thing over and over and over again. It's like, when are you there? You learn to a point where you're like, all right, you really don't care. Like, say for instance, you're burning of the scallops all the time. It's consistent. I teach you how to do it. You burn it. Okay, we have a conversation. You had a bad day. You forgot it, or whatever it is. Okay, fine. Okay, not a problem. I could be an asshole, but I'm not that much of an asshole. But I give you a chance, and I say to you, hey, what happened? And you tell me, well, the fire was high, this was wrong. You're going to get all the excuses in the book. They would never say, I fucked up. They will just be like, hey, this, that, everything besides saying, I'll apologize, it won't happen again. And at the end, when you do have this conversation with them, at the end, then they will say, oh, apologize, it won't happen again. But they're now, when you have these conversations, they're mad at you. Like, you're the one that burned it. They get upset, they get down. They feel down or whatever it is, and I'm hesitant to talk to them because sometimes in this time and age, you need the workers. When I address it, I'm more like, all right, don't do it again. Not a problem. You made a mistake. Don't do it again. But now they do it again, and then you're like, what happened? And then you do it again, and then you do it again. It's like, what are you gonna do now at that point? How do you handle that? When they're consistently burning, like, for instance, the scallops again after you spoke to them, and again after you spoke to them, and again after you spoke to them, knowing that it's very hard to find work, because sometimes they take advantage of that because they know you need them. How do you deal with that? Do you fire them right away and say, screw it, bye.
Well, you always have to get a team that represents you
Okay.
and follow your instructions.
Of course.
Same thing that I learned with other chefs. You have to respect my kitchen. You have to follow these rules, and I will teach you everything. I did it right. I feel like I consider myself a responsible person since I've been working in this environment. But you will find people that don't care at all, and that you feel it right away. You can't give chances like that. You just have to be yourself and let it go. Chances that you have a bad day, yeah, it will happen, but you cannot continue coming with the same mistake every day.
You fire them?
So I will have to fire, get rid of them. The good thing that I have is that I know everything in the kitchen, and I can be even as a dishwasher to line cook. So it doesn't matter for me. Like I have all the experience in my hands, and now I'm not afraid of it. And what I see in other kitchens, that they have all these chances because the chef or the owners, they don't know anything about the kitchens.
Or they're lazy.
They let it happen. They just go like soft with them, like, hey, what happened? Please don't do it again. And it's like the mistake's gonna continue
Happening.
showing, and it's not
right.
It's not right for anybody.
And not beneficial to the restaurant. You lose customers that way. You get bad reviews, like you talked about in one episode in the past. Things like that. It's a bad look towards you as a chef because everyone who comes in, they know that. All right.
It's also disrespect the
course.
business and the chef or manager.
I mean, after like 2 times, 3 times already, it's disrespectful. It's like, F you, we don't care. I don't care what you think. I'm gonna do what I want. Because it's like they're like, sometimes, I hate to say it, but adults can be children. You consistently gotta tell them something, and then, for that month, they'll be a good, little boys and girls, and then they'll mess up again, and then they know that they're not getting reprimanded, they're not getting in trouble, so they don't care. With me, I understand. With me, there's some chefs now that they consider themselves chefs. I don't consider some chefs because they pretty much just know how to cook certain things, and nowadays everybody's opening a restaurant. They don't know how to cook. They just know how to cook a few items, and they just open a place. It's easy access now, and a lot of places are. They're like glorified cooks, I should say, and they have the ability or the finances to open a restaurant. But then again, they're lazy. They find somebody to cook for them, and it's like, all right, they're good, and they make it. But guess what? They don't know anything. They're lazy, so when that cook or whatever messes it up, it's just a spank on the hand. Don't do it again. And then, they ended up doing it 20 times, and they end up being there for years, and they end up doing the same thing over and over again. And it's just enough's enough. Chefs should come back and do what they need to do. They should get rid of who needs to be got rid of. They should become strict that they used to do. Care for the craft. The craft isn't anymore like it used to be. It's not the same authority like it used to. You remember chefs that we had used to throw pancake batter against the wall when they got pissed off, right? And throw shit, curse, sacre bleu, shit like that, borgadillo, things like that. Screaming back in the day, screaming like on top of their lungs, open kitchen and everything. Customers were screaming,
but you gotta say this also. Now the new generations are more
lazy
and soft.
Soft. It's true.
You can't say anything because
a lot of generations are soft. Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, I will I'll call the police on you.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it's like yeah, you live in a world now. You don't know what to say. You yell. You can't even tell a customer something because they're gonna act up and post it on social media, bring down the restaurant. So you're gonna get another one that there's places that I see that they write reviews and they they get people on YouTube to write reviews. They're not even at the plate. We spoke about that, and the place goes down. The place goes to shit. And it's not right. Chefs put their heart and soul into their craft. Same thing like get to Mr. Top G here, like you as a bartender. You put your heart and soul. Mixologist, sorry, you're not a bartender. You're a top G, top B, top bartender. Like you have a craft and you love your craft. And we spoke about this before. You love your craft. It's your thing. You came a long way. It's not like something that you're just doing for the hell of it. So tell me, when you have the same scenario, you're mixologist because it's a mixture of stuff like you said. You're a mixologist. You love your craft. You're creative. You take the time out to develop these cocktails, right? Whether you put whatever liquor you put, whether you muddle, whether you shake, whether you stir, whatever decisions you decide to do, a drop of this, a drop of that. It's like you're making a chemical balance, like a scientific potion, right? And you garnish with whatever, dry lime, a flower, a sprig of this, a sprig of that, right? You have to do it. That's how you want it done. That's how it would taste the correct way. That's how it would. That's your sort of plating, correct? Your design of how you serve it. Now, I guess there's no levels to bartending. I guess there's just the person that creates it, and then you have a bartender. So like let's say your bartender messes up the drinks. How do you deal with that? You get a complaint. They're not following your recipe, or they're doing whatever they want. Because at that point, there's nothing to burn. So they're not following your recipe. They're switching up the liquor, or they either they're doing it for more tips, or they're adding more liquor so they could get more tips. Those are like some consistencies that I hear that happens. How do you deal with that?
So yeah, of course, there are gonna be a lot of us out there, as bartenders, where we have different techniques, different ideas in creating the craft. Most of it has to do with experience of being in multiple different other bars, having different instructors show you how to create a craft. And even though it's a classic cocktail, everybody has their own different techniques and their own ways or their own measurements of making a classic cocktail. So for instance, on margarita, I have my own recipe of my margarita. I will have other bartenders, of course, that they will have their own recipes. It will be the same base, like with the tequila, syrup, lime, triple sec or orange liqueur, like all those things. It will be the same base, but the measurements, it's what makes it different and makes it unique. So if there was a scenario, which of course it happens, a bartender, the team brings them along, they put them in there, like I start teaching them and this and that, and they say we got a full bar. He's gonna start building up, or she's gonna start building up her own clientele out of those people that are sitting at the bar. They'll most likely do my take first, but then they'll start adding their own little twist to it. Now, if there's a complaint that I discover that it happened, I'll talk with them, of course, first. Well, look, this is my bar. These are the recipes that I want you to follow. Of course, you have your own. I'm always open for suggestions on creating different type of craft with different measurements. I'm not one of those that's like, no, I'm not listening. Like, I'm always open for suggestions. But for that, we will have like a special day for that. You get me? Okay. Like a special day where I will call it an open bar, like an open bar task. Okay. Where all these bartenders will get together and we will try everybody's different, like measurements. That would be my idea of taking care of those type of situations. Because the thing is, if you don't take care of those type of situations, you will always have one of those bartenders that's going to step over you.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Because they're like, nah, dude, like, I've been doing this for years. I've been doing it. How long you been here? Oh, no, I got more. So not in this spot, but I've been in another spot, and I know this measurement will be better,
Yeah.
So it will always be like a fight. between
Okay.
that. Like, it will be like, who does what if you don't have control of that team, you know?
And if that person, would you get rid of them?
So, no, because, like, I wouldn't get rid of them just because of that, just because they stepped over me.
Uh-huh.
Because this would be their first, like, if it was the first time I caught it, it
Yeah.
would be me talking to them and then me explaining, like, these are my measurements. I want you
Okay.
to follow it. Now, I'm going to have a day where we all going to get together and we get to explore, and then we will all vote
Of course.
this person's measurement is better. Because at the end of the day, it's about giving the customer the better experience, and it's about developing the bar.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, I don't like making it about just me. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, like, if I'm off, I want to be able to be off, not get a text, not get a call, and just feel 100% comfortable. I have a team that's able to hold down the bar.
Yeah.
You know, I have a team that loves the craft as much as I love it, and I have a team that will be able to surpass my ability of developing a
Okay.
different craft.
course.
Because that's actually what improves a bar business. It's not just one. Like, it starts off with one bartender, but if you manage to mold other bartenders into your own style, or if
Yeah.
not, you find a bartender out there that has a similarity to what you believe in the craft,
Okay.
and you guys get together, you put your brains together, and you start mixing and matching, it becomes a beautiful, art craft about it,
So what does it take for you? If a non-experienced bartender that
Yeah.
you've taught consistently makes, like, you feel like, say they're out of it, say they're done, they're not done, but they're young, they're done, they're kind of like over it, but now instead of being like, hey,
No, in that case, yeah.
no, like, say from Mr. Mr. Mixologist, the best there is, the best there was, they're not gonna say anything to you. They just consistently mess up. For instance, one of your exclusive cocktails that you created, they have no experience, but they're consistently messing up your recipes. Take me down a path. First offense, you talk to them. You said, what does it take for you to fire someone?
So what I would do is, in this case, like, I would be like, look, I spoke to you about this last month.
Okay.
For instance, like, they messed up, they have no experience at all. I would just, pull them on the side, be like, look, let's go real quick to the office, let's talk.
Okay.
I already had 2 customers complain about this Mojito, for example. You keep forgetting to put in, like, the club soda. This is just an example.
Okay.
You're messing up the measurements. Like, what's going on? Like, I hear them out. Okay, look, I'm gonna run it by you one more time. We're gonna do this again. The next time, it's gonna be a write-up, Because, like, I get it. Like, when it's, like, a lot of measurements, a lot of different cocktails, people will intend to mess up, especially if it's a busy bar, But you have to also take it one step at a time. You get me? Like, don't think like that you're above, like, creating this craft. Like, dude, take your time. Like, first, listen to what they said. I want a mojito.
Okay.
Remember what a mojito is, and if you have any questions, ask the bartender that's next to you.
Of course.
Or if not, like, reach out real quick, or if not, go through the bartender's guidebook that we're gonna have lined up with recipes.
Got it. Yeah.
Now, if it's like a thing where it's affecting the team, as in it's like a stubborn person that doesn't want to listen, that wants to be behind the bar drinking and not doing what they're supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
of course, that right there is a direct violation to the code, and be like, look, I'm sorry, but we have to part ways. This is not working out for me, nor is it working out for my team, and obviously it's not going to be working out for you, because you're not here to follow the instruction. You're not here to play well with other teammates, and you're just want to do whatever you want to do for yourself. So it's affecting. It's becoming a negative, energy towards the team now.
Yeah.
So you have to take action in that matter.
Oh, okay.
You know?
I understand. Yeah, that makes sense. We all have different systems. Kitchen, we'll do the 3 strikes thing.
No,
and
yeah,
always
of course, yeah.
consistency. And then, do it 3 strikes for consistency, and you with your own version of firing. I think it was different.
No, yeah, but, like, I'm speaking behind the craft, but obviously if there's also, behavior, there's also, attendance. Like, if all those things are all playing effect, then of course it'll be, okay, you're getting on a strike for this now. You're getting on a strike for that,
Oh, okay.
But I'm speaking in behalf of being behind the bar, just following instruction.
That's right. Okay.
Mhm.
Now I have a question for both of you. I'll start with you first, Jerobis, Mr. Bottom G, top G, lowercase G. We're gonna do it with. I'm running you through a simple scenario. Are you in? You have a bartender.
Yeah.
This is two different questions, two different scenarios, right? Let's go down. First scenario is this: you, as the head bartender, or as the owner bartender, whatever it is. I mean, it's two different scenarios. Let's say you're just the head bartender of a restaurant, correct?
Yeah.
You're in desperate need of hiring. Two-part question. The first question is you're in need of hiring or desperate need of hiring bartenders, correct? Because it's very scarce of finding bartenders. It's not easy. Two-part question. One part, would you look for a person that has experience, or would you prefer training a newbie where there's no colliding with experience because they don't have any? You're taking, let's say, a waitress or a waiter. They just know serving, and you're teaching them the craft or the art, and you know that you're teaching them, so there's nothing colliding with experience, with an experience. Or you prefer pulling somebody from another location that might have great experience more than you, and different types of places, right? Let's give them, like, they have lounge environment, busy environment. They have a nice 5-star restaurant where it's slow but classic cocktails. Let's say employee from Death and Call, things like that. Like what would you prefer? What would be your preference to hire this person, or to train this person? Which one would you go with?
So if it's my first year, me opening up my own bar and everything.
You're a head bartender.
Oh, head bartender. Okay.
For another restaurant, for another place.
For another place. Okay. So a head bartender for another place, and in this scenario, I would like to. If there's somebody out there with experience, of course, I will definitely bring them aboard. But I always look for first their personality. Like, I will ask questions as in, what made you want to get involved in the craft? And I will get their response on that, seeing like what it is, And I will ask them questions about their experience with all the bars. If they start speaking negative about the other bar, then yes, of course, there's some bars out there that would treat employees really bad and everything.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go for that. I find that a person that doesn't, like, if they say no, unfortunately, just it didn't work out for me, this and that, I accept that as an answer,
Okay.
But if they start talking down of the business, then there's always two stories,
Mm-hmm.
There's their story, then there's the other story,
Oh yeah.
So if it's a neutral story where it's just like, no, unfortunately, good people, good place, but it didn't work out for me. That's the perfect answer. For me, that's already a check. I'm like, okay,
And that's
cool.
what you would go with?
Yeah, I will go with that first as a check, Then
fair
I'll keep asking more questions out of that. And then I will test them, see their shake, their stir.
Yes.
And then I see what I like, I'll take them under my wings,
Okay.
But I always look for that, for the personality, because I find that the personality is what's gonna build the commitment. Because I always look for the commitment. The commitment is a bartender you could depend on. Like, let's say, for instance, they just come in, they're chilling with friends, it's their day off, and they're there, and they see that it's busy.
Yeah.
And the moment that you see the bartender say, it's their day off, but if they be like, yo, Jay, you need ice, bro? I'll get you the ice. It's not about getting behind the bar and making the drinks, no. But if they be like, yo, I'm gonna run real quick. Is it okay if I go get you some ice? Is it okay if I go get you some extra garnishes?
So initiative.
Like that, yeah. Like, they take initiative. That shows to me already that's commitment.
Yeah.
And for me, that's a huge plus,
Of course. And when you said about personality, it's true, because they have to deal with the customer.
Yeah, like, so when I see the personality, their answers, and everything, it all depends on the interview that I will give. I always go with commitment. Commitment of personality,
All right, so you're saying that you'll choose experience first before you train somebody from your current staff.
Yeah, I would do both. But if I had the opportunity to hire somebody that's with experience that came to me, and has an interest in learning from me, and also they did their homework and checking my menu out, checking the place out. You know, pretty much like scooping the place out first before they decided to present themselves to me.
Yeah.
That already is a plus, you know.
So, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, I would, do the same.
As in for staff, if it's a staff member that's within, and the staff member, he or she is waitress or bussing or just being a host, but consistently it's asking me, questions as in like, oh, what's your favorite cocktail? I would tell them. Oh, like, what made you want to get involved? Oh, I would tell them. Or listen, I was interested in knowing like, how do you make that? I mean, like, okay, I'm listening. I'm now they call my attention. I'm observing them on the floor to see what's going on. And then when the time comes, and I will ask, I was like, do you have any interest in learning about the craft?
Yeah.
And if I see it in their reaction by that, of course I would take them under. I would speak to the owner. I'll be like, hey, listen, this person, he or she is interested in learning about the craft.
Okay.
I would like to start teaching the base of it. Is it okay? Yeah, it's fine.
All right.
Like I will go with that.
So for instance, how do you approach, say somebody from I guess you said your experience, but how do you say a waitress or a waiter wants to come to you and say, I want to learn, but their whole thing is they want to learn from you because they want to go somewhere else on the low, but you kind of know, but it's like, what do you do then? Would you train them still because out of the goodness of your heart, knowing that they're gonna just take what they learn, you're training them to go somewhere else? How would you approach that? So
there's the thing, like, I view those things.
Yeah.
And of course that has happened. I know a few people that have done that.
Yeah, I'm asking that question.
And the reason why I would still take it is because it's much more bigger than me. It's much more bigger than what I'm doing. I view the craft as an identity of itself. Like, it's all about the knowledge that they receive from me being passed down to them, them using that knowledge currently it's gonna be helping out, the bar or the restaurant itself where they're currently at with me now.
Okay.
And of course, in the future, they're taking that knowledge to move forward, but that knowledge is being passed. So you get me? It lives on. And it's because of that knowledge that lives on is the reason why us bartenders today, even though that knowledge almost got lost during, prohibition time, it's because of that we're able to still create crafts. You get me? So it's always been about the craft. It's bigger than us.
I got you.
It's not just about what we have and not sharing the knowledge.
Yeah.
It's becoming an agreement within the community of the tenders themselves, knowing that the knowledge needs to be passed on, because that's the only way the craft will continue to survive. And develop.
Sure, definitely.
So I wouldn't hold it against them.
Okay.
To me, it makes, like, obviously I will get upset. I'm like, oh shit, what's Drunk Sex doing over here? But then I'm like, you know what? It lived on. Like, I'm like, the craft lived on. Would this person get the credit? Like, meaning, like, if I would get the credit?
Probably won't.
No, they won't. But the clients are the ones that to say, no, dude, I remember this cocktail being made here. And then that's where the tales of cocktails comes to be born.
Well, how would you feel? Be honest. Would you be pissed?
Anybody will be upset, but I would be between both. I'll be upset and also happy, because now I know it lived on, not just within my, working environment where I'm at. It lived on through another place, because it's the same thing like margaritas. Look, margaritas is everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
You get me?
Yeah.
But yeah, the origin story of it has been, a myth or tale. Who did this? Who did that?
Yeah.
But the importance of it is, like, if whoever the tender was that created it at that given moment, we do know that it was not called margarita. We know it was called Daisy.
What?
Yeah, it was Daisy.
Is it even Mexican?
So it's a little iffy about that. Because in Mexico, no, because in Mexico itself, they don't even consider the margarita as their top.
They're like the Charo Negro.
Yeah, it's
margarita.
Yeah, it's Charo Negro. The Paloma, la Paloma is like more bigger than the margarita. Yeah, Paloma is much more bigger than the margarita in Mexico.
Cheladas?
no.
Michelada is another one, yeah.
It's
Machado Negro and
Michelada
Paloma is
neither?
bigger.
no, margarita.
Oh,
Well, margarita is known worldwide,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
But like,
I
if
just
you
try.
go to Mexico itself, it's
Right.
like Paloma.
yeah.
Paloma
Obviously.
everywhere, you know.
That's true. But all right, well, you got your take. I see who you get the experience over the way over training first. Yeah, I mean, with me and I think with you too, Chef Diego.
Yep.
I think you do the same. We like to take from the bottom, like dishwashers, like we did. Dishwasher, move up to like prep, and then from prep move to the station, then from the station move to the sous chef, then from the sous chef. I mean, you'll take the experience, but we always take who we have on board already versus, unless it's necessary, take somebody from the outside, right? Are you on the same page as me?
Yeah. Just talking about that, I have a student that is now a podcast director right now. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I like Abby. So yeah, I share the same way as Joe is following in this environment, this business.
Well, he
It's-
chooses somebody from the outside with experience versus.
No, I choose both.
But who would you go with? Your primary goal. Who would you first go with?
Primary goal, if I see a staff member has an interest,
Yeah.
because I know how their working ethics and
Uh-huh.
everything, I will go with the staff
Oh,
member
okay.
first. If they show me the interest. You
I
know?
got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, obviously, if
You know,
if the owner themselves saying we need an outside bartender,
Yeah.
I will make the suggestion first. Wait, there's a staff member here that I'm seeing
Okay.
that has an interest. Let's go with that first.
All right.
But if the owner themselves or the head manager themselves,
Yeah.
they say, I get that, but like we could do a little bit of both with her. We could mold her a little by little.
Yeah.
Find me a bartender out there
Okay.
first, and then I'll be like, okay, not a problem. It all depends on the owner / head manager of
Yeah,
what they're looking for.
For sure.
You know?
But before you go, Chef, I just want to elaborate on what you said. So personally, out of the experience, I've seen a lot of both things. Like many times we worked on persons that are in house taking the a waitress or a waiter to do the bartending, right? And they become either cocky or they get over it. And then I do see that when you put up an ad and you get experience. The thing is, when you take somebody from outside that has more experience than you, the respect for you as say you have 20 years top G of experience of bartending, right? And then I come in with so you have 20 years and I have 40 years of experience. My respect for you, it's just like you don't know what you're talking about unless my experience is your experience is creating cocktails being mixology, right? And my experience is the same, creating cocktails being a mixologist. But at the same time is my versus a person that's saying that my experience is working in a nightclub or the strip club, whatever it is, being a bartender. I will shit on you if we have the same mindset of being a mixologist, because not that I personally will. I've seen it because they were like, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Because many time in the past, like people we hired with experience, they talk shit. They'd be like, oh, you don't know what you're doing, whatever. Then I back up. Well, he's in charge. He needs to do what he needs to do, and that's his department. You don't question him. If he tells you do this, you do this. But there is that, and I do see that, and also in the culinary world too. If you get a chef that has more experience than you, and you're younger, you're younger than them, they're gonna be like, who the hell? Like, what are you? Who are you? They don't have no respect. We dealt with that before, and it's a difficult thing because that's why me personally, I won't get anybody with experience. I would try to do my best to get anybody in house, even if I have to do the bartending myself until I hire outside, like somebody with less experience and no experience that wants to learn, versus somebody with experience, because I know that's gonna happen. It's just human nature to me that that a person that has supposedly they can have 20 years of experience of bartending, but they could have bartended in, I don't know, a strip club, and that's completely different. You know what I mean? Versus they coming to your bar and where you are, and you making you're finessing these beautiful cocktails. You know what I mean? Like,
Putting love to it.
yeah, they're not. They putting you put your heart into it, and I'm gonna be like, what the hell is this? You just these people don't like they're like Henny and Coke, and they're like, oh, they're like rum and Coke, and they just need this and then that, and
So that I get. So like I get what you're saying with that scenario.
yeah,
And of course, those are things that happens, you know, in all the business
yeah,
out there. One thing I was taught, and this is taught, you know, once again by my father,
Yeah.
which was taught by his father, and on, is for you to gain any type of respect, even if it's somebody that's older than you, you're the youngest one there, or somebody that has somewhat of the same experience of you, but now there's an age difference.
okay,
You gain the respect by showing them the working ethics, your working
yeah,
ethics.
definitely.
So when they see that,
Yeah.
they see your working ethics, then they start understanding. Then they start giving you the respect. Like, for instance, one of those bartenders that they have a lot of experience, and I actually enjoyed working with that person.
yeah,
Even though that person was, you know, a conflict with the team, in many ways. You know, he had the experience, and of course he will question a lot.
okay,
And this person, he started developing now the respect, and the way that respect happened was one time I came in, he was by himself, you know, bartending. Actually, you started helping him out,
Okay.
as in like busing and everything, because it was his first time being by
Okay.
himself. This was like during like winter time, if I'm not mistaken.
oh, okay, yes,
Yeah.
uh-huh,
And it was during winter
Say the
time
name.
after St. Patrick's. It was after no, not winter. I'm sorry. It was
Can't give them
after
credit.
St. Patrick. Yeah. And he was by himself.
Okay.
He only lasted like maybe like a month
You
with us,
suck.
a month or a month and a half. But him seeing that, you know, he's by himself, you're trying to help him, this and that. I walked in, and he's also very territorial. Like, I already knew like what type of bartender he was. He wasn't hired by me.
it was Chef Diego's people.
He wasn't hired by me, but you know, like, I already saw the vibe. I saw his energy,
I already know who it is.
and he saw, like, when I was like, "Yo, you okay, man?" He's like, "Yeah, I got it," and I was like, "All right, man." So I'm seeing what he's doing,
Yeah,
and he's fast. He really is fast,
Uh-huh.
but it's a lot. It's definitely a lot if you don't know, you know, the
Correct.
clientele of that
Oh,
spot,
yeah,
because he
definitely.
wasn't expecting that many people.
oh, of course,
So when he saw that I went downstairs,
Uh-huh.
bought him the ice, he was like, "Oh shit, yo, thanks, got the ice, pow."
Yeah.
I saw that he was running low on some bottles. You know, like, I peeked it because I was in the corner of the kitchen. I
Yeah.
brought him up some bottles. That right there, it took him off by surprise, because I'm assuming that he didn't expect that.
Of
He didn't
course.
expect that, you know, from another bartender, because, you know, from when I got to know him a little bit more,
Yeah.
he started telling me his experience. He started telling me what bars he's been in, and I know a lot of those bars, and I know how they operate.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, you guys are pretty much like cutthroats. Like, you
Yeah.
cutthroat one another, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah,
So when he saw that, and he saw me operating with that working ethics, after that, he listened to everything I was telling him. After
Yeah.
that, he honored my respect, and he actually, to this very day, because I passed him down a few
clientele.
clientele, like private parties that I couldn't go, because
Yeah.
there was a time that I had this huge ass wedding that I had to do,
Of course.
and I couldn't go because my grandpa had passed away. I passed it down to him,
R.I.P.
and he always says to me, "Yo, thank you for doing this for me. Thank you for doing that for me."
Yeah.
And you know, it's all about the working ethic, showing it to, you know, your peers. When they see that, they fall in love with that. They give you the respect.
Yeah.
They forget about the age gap. They forget about them trying to like cutthroat to be on top of you.
Okay.
They forget all about that, because at the end of the day, they're like, now I could count on this person to
Oh,
help
yeah.
me with this, you
Of
know?
course. Of course.
So it's like my pops always told me. My pops always told me, it doesn't matter what business you work for, it doesn't matter what field you work for,
yeah.
but you show them your working ethics.
Of course.
Doesn't matter what title you have, man. You could be the big boss of big bosses. Always show them the working ethics. And when they see that, they respect it, because now they're going to be like, that's what he is, where he is. Or that's what she is,
Oh,
where
yeah.
she is. Because of that, you know?
That's right.
It's a great dad.
Same thing like in the
I
kitchen.
wish I had that.
Yeah.
You don't say that.
No, for
That-
real.
Your, pop,
I
your,
don't
your,
have
your,
any.
pops, your dad will listen to this. Your dad will be like,
Yeah.
"What you said?
I don't have
Come
any.
over here."
That's black.
That was black.
God.
He left.
He left them. It's all right.
Oh, man.
So when it comes to the stuff that you're speaking of, right? You in the kitchen, Diego, chef, you experience the same stuff. I remember, you work with different chefs, and you know a lot of things. But what's your experience? How do you feel when you're the chef and you hire like a sous chef with 20 years more than what you experience? Would you hire that person? And if yes, how would you feel about it?
From the people that don't know me already, well, I already say this. I've worked for more than 20 restaurants,
Okay.
and I learned a lot
So
from
you're a restaurant hoe.
many places and many chefs, right?
Yeah.
So I always see the same scenario, where when you hire somebody that has experience and when you teach people that have no experience.
Yeah.
The best thing for me is to hire to teach somebody that doesn't have any experience
Yeah.
but wants to learn.
Okay.
Like really, it's involved to learn.
Yeah.
Because that's the best thing. When you hire people that have already experience, sometimes they have more experience than you because there is out there people like that, and they feel like they can do more than you,
Okay.
and they shouldn't listen to you, shouldn't respect you,
Okay.
and everything comes to also a personality, right?
Okay.
Well, I've been in kitchens where I knew more than the chef
Yeah.
or the line cooks, but I will not be the person that, I'm more than you. So I will be like, listen to them,
Uh-huh.
pay attention. Like, this is your recipe, this is your plating,
Okay.
this is your stuff, but I will do the same thing that you're telling me.
Oh, I got you.
And it all goes by respect, something that Jerobis said.
Yeah.
So if you respect, you will learn, you will get all those things. And but there is people that are really how you call me, star?
Stubborn? Cocky? I'm cocky.
So
I'm
there is
the
people
shit.
that
I'm the
really
best there is, puppy.
that,
Anything this hand touches is gold.
that really there is people that don't care,
Of course. At one point when I was working in a restaurant / was one of the partners, I started feeling out of it. You were there also. I started feeling out of it. Then they came up with the idea, let's bring in a backup chef, or like a chef to relieve some of the pressure. We went through a chef. I'm not gonna say his name. Went through a chef. I'm not gonna say his name. He was lazy, very, very lazy, right? And then we kind of like, this guy's lazy, whatever. We was making jokes and we was giving him names and stuff like that. And we moved on and we got rid of him, right? Because I had the ability to come together with the rest of the owners and say, let's just find somebody else with the passion, not somebody that was, trying to do some cocaine in the bathroom.
Goddamn.
So let's just say white stuff. That's one. Then we replaced them with another one, which I was like, oh, come on, forget it. I'm going to do it myself. But at the same time, I needed a break. I was doing it for so long. And we, got a co-chef. And it's very hard to, like, work with two different people, right? But, we did it because, I had a family at that time, so I wanted to make sure that, still have one, but I had, wanted to just chill out for a little bit. And we got another one. And, shout out to Chef also. We got along right away, right? We got along right away. One, because he had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle water bottle, which that just broke the ice, So I was laughing, and Michelangelo, I think it was, or Raphael, one of them, and that broke the ice. That was hilarious to me. And you know, we got along, and to this day we still get along. You know, we're like
he's a
you know,
cool
he's
dude.
cool. He's cool. And then, you know, everybody would joke with him.
I love
whether
his
he's
food
thick-
as well.
And his food was good, yeah.
Shout
and
out to
then
him.
from that, we learned a different type of cuisine. We took our knowledge to another level, right? And he added different things that we wouldn't think about, and we showed him stuff that he wouldn't think about. You know, like kale. He never liked kale, so that was one thing he always complained about. Kale, why kale? You know, like Tim.
Oso Blanco.
Oso Blanco. Actually, we gave him that name. His name is Chef J, but we call him also Chef Oso. Oso Blanco.
Great chef.
But anyway, my whole thing is this: is like, we're in the kitchen. We take from the bottom, bring them to the top, because that's the whole point of the restaurant. You know, you start at the bottom, then you're at the top. We give them opportunities, especially when they want to know. You know, they want to learn. Everybody has a passion. Everybody has the hunger. They just need the chance to learn. You know, like all of us. We started from the bottom, and now we're here. You know, making this podcast, spreading our knowledge. You know, over, I believe, me and you is 20. I said to give you another 10, about 30 years of experience, more than 30 years of experience amongst us three. And, you know, we do our thing. We're here to teach you guys about the restaurant world. Today, we hit on some subjects of what to do. And hopefully you guys, if you guys are listening to this and you guys are trying to open a restaurant or running a restaurant, understand that experience is amazing. It comes to the conclusion where experience is also amazing. But if you can't match that experience, that person is going to overtake you as an owner because of the fact that they're needed. And you know, they might push the envelope depending on their personality. You know? So, yeah, right? We're on the same page?
Same page.
Yeah? The Robus? You
Yeah.
know? It's always going to be like they're needed. They're going to be sometimes. Not all the time, but majority of the time, when a person has the experience and the owner doesn't have the experience, they're going to be like, oh, let me satisfy what this guy or girl needs, because at the same time is they're going to just leave me and I don't know what the hell to do. You know what I mean? That happens.
I find like if you have the financial needs,
Yeah.
and that's the case of majority of places,
Yeah.
but you have to ask yourself, why am I doing this first? Like, why am I going to open this up?
Of course.
Before you do any of that, you do some homework. You find the identity that you want to present to the people of that business before it becomes an establishment. You know, you educate yourself on developing the skills that is needed, just in case if you ever stumble upon people like that, you're able to hold your ground down. You're able to defend yourself. And the best way to develop, you know, those type of experiences, you have to put your pride aside.
Of course.
You have to become a worker first.
Yes.
You know, before my dad opened up his own restaurant in the 90s, before he started everything, he, you know, him having the financial and everything, he decided first to learn from the Italians, learn from the French, learn from anybody that he was able to learn from.
Oh, yeah.
He became a worker.
Yeah.
You know, them not knowing that him being a worker, he was already financially established.
Okay.
Like, not needing their things, but he wanted to build, you know, the working ethics of how things operate here. And when he learned, he took, you know, 2 to 3 years. Then he went out there and did his thing. And he was able to defend himself when he stumbled upon other, you know, people from his culture saying, oh, I got 10 years doing this, that. And he was like, okay, show me what you got. He liked it. But then he was showing them the working ethics. He was showing them the knowledge.
Oh,
and
of course.
they were like, okay, respect. Nobody was able to say, you know, we're going to do it like this.
Yeah, of course.
He was always the one to be like, no, we're doing it like this, and this is why. Nobody never questioned back because he showed them the working ethic. So I feel like develop first your working ethics, develop the identity that you're looking to build, and build, you know, knowledge, so you're able to defend your ground when you stumble upon any people like that.
Of course, yeah. You know, that's true. You know, it's good to have a father like that. Teaches you, also passes it on to you.
Yeah.
You know, same thing
no,
with
yeah,
my dad.
definitely very grateful. Yeah.
You know, and you know what's cool about it? The cool about one thing, a side note, is Chef Diego said that he doesn't know his dad, but he
Was that a fact, or you was fucking with me, bro?
No, he doesn't. But
Oh, man,
but I want to take a note. A lot of people say, and a lot of people say that when you don't grow up with a father, you get lost, right? But Chef, there was one proven fact that he didn't grow up with a father, and he still has more work ethic than anyone I ever seen.
Yeah, that's true.
So that kind of theory.
Shout out to my mom.
Shout out to his mom. His mom hold it down. Give him that papao. You know, I also just wanna before we leave this, I have just one thing. We have to, next, couple podcasts we're gonna be talking about different stuff, but also in the future, hopefully soon, we just our behind the stage director is going to try to figure out how to follow us on our journey to do cocktails, to show you guys certain cocktail recipes and certain dishes coming up in the future. But before we leave, last one note is that Jerobis, I have a question for you. Can you walk us through a mojito? And I have one question before we end this segment. What's the difference between slapping the mint versus, or should I say spanking the mint, get a little kinky, or versus muddling?
So there are two different techniques to it.
Okay.
You spanking the mint is so you can wake up the aroma.
Correct.
Of the mint.
Okay.
Now, if you're gonna muddle the mint, that's another way as well. The only thing is, when you're muddling the mint, don't bruise them up too much, because if you bruise them up, then the cocktail itself may become bitter because of the herbs.
Okay.
So
when do you muddle? If you do muddle, do you muddle the mint and the lime, or just the mint?
So there's a lot of different techniques. A lot of people use,
Okay.
Nowadays you're starting to see more on the modern. Nowadays you could say more in the modern style now. A lot of people are shaking the mojito. I've seen it.
Without muddling or spanking.
Without muddling or spanking. Now the reason they're doing this is because they're going for like that more like elegant, clean look. So when they serve it in a Tom Collin glass or a highball glass, or even a pilsner. I've seen them do it in pilsners and everything.
Pilsner.
Yeah, pilsners.
Yeah.
Like I've seen them do that as well now.
Oh, wow.
They're going for like a clean look.
Okay.
So they'll go for that clean look, and then they'll get the mint. They'll spank it. They'll put it as a garnish. So when they're sipping on it, they have like all that aroma smell of the mint in the mojito. It makes it feel like you're back in Cuba, like that. You know?
Nice. And okay, another thing.
Yeah.
The Sprite versus club soda.
So for my take, I actually enjoy doing it with Sprite and club soda.
Okay.
I like doing it because it has lemon and lime mixed into the soda itself, and then the club soda just to kill off a little bit of the sweetness.
Okay.
Top G.
All right. Thanks for walking us through that. Little information on a mojito. That's it, guys. Let's see you guys in the next episode. All right, guys. Take care.
Adios, amigos.